When we're casting on for a garment in crochet, or you're doing rows, you normally would work a number of chains, and then you would work your first row into either the underside of the stitch through the single loop of yarn, or through the top of the stitch, the default method, going through the top 2 loops of the yarn. And then you would work your row. So for example, say you had to work 20 double crochets, you would cast on 21 chains, and then you would work your double crochet. What I'm going to show you is what I consider a simpler and better method of working the foundation row as you go along. So let's undo these, and we're going to do a row of double crochet. I'm going to do 20 double crochet. So do your usual cast on chain, then work 3 chains. 1, 2, 3. That first chain is going to be the foundation of the next stitch. In double crochet you need a chain to turn, and this second chain actually makes the first stitch. So work into the underside, so you've got the default method there, but you've worked into the underside of the chain. Bring the yarn through. At this point you would normally finish off and do a double crochet, but because we need to create the foundation chain for the next stitch, you work 1 chain, there's the foundation chain for your next stitch, then you do your double crochet. So you've got to go back into that chain you've just worked, the base for the next stitch. So again, use your default, go through the 2 bottom chains there, bring the yarn through, work 1 chain to create the base for the next stitch, do your double crochet. Back into the base that you created, bring the yarn through. 1 chain as base for the next stitch, double crochet. We repeat this. 1 chain for the next stitch, double crochet. Whoops, there you go. That's how it's taking shape. Let's carry on. Into the base chain, work 1 chain, double crochet. Into the base chain, work 1 chain, double crochet. Much simpler. So if we look at the stitch in more detail, there's your base stitch there, your base chain. That chain is the stem of the double crochet, and that's the top chain of the double crochet. So you've got 3 chains form part of the stitch. So back in again, yarn through, 1 chain, double crochet, and make sure that you do pick up the 2 chains, 2 loops of the yarn in that first chain, to make sure that there's robustness to your stitches. I'm now going to do a count. So we did those 3 chains at the start. The top chain of those 3 is a stitch. We count that as a stitch. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 6 more to do. Hope you can see this clearly. And that should be 20. Let's just do a count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Now if you look at the underneath, it's very neat. It's a lovely chain effect. And if you look on top, there it is again. Working like this, because you don't have a row of chains that you work into, the work doesn't twist. And there you've got it ready for your second row, to work your second row.